Hey everybody, I hope you're having a wonderful day. Welcome back to a brand new episode of Form Fight. Form Fight is a series where we take a look at a Pokemon with more than one form, or a branched evolution, or counterpart Pokemon. We have a look at the differences between the Pokemon in question, and we try and work out which one is the best. And so we can see these Pokemon in action on the battlefield. We also have a Metronome Battle between them just for a little bit of fun. If you're a fan of Form Fight already and you're ready for more, make sure you hit the like button, show you're enjoying this series. Let's go for like 500 likes on this Form Fight just for fun. And of course, hit subscribe if you're new so you never miss an episode. And of course, never forget, use code ACE to save money on G Fuel. Green apple, it's banging, love it. Code ACE, save yourself some money. With all that out of the way, let's have a look at today's challenges. Today on Form Fight, we're going to be comparing the two forms of Darmanitan, which are Darmanitan and Galarian Darmanitan. Now, a Darmanitan found in any region other than Galar will be in its regular Unovan form. However, a Darmanitan found in the Galar region will be Galarian Darmanitan. What makes these two forms of Darmanitan so different? Let's take a look. According to the Pokedex, standard mode regular Darmanitan, more on that in a minute, stands at 1.3 meters tall and weighs 92.9 kilograms. Its Pokedex information says the thick arms of this hot-blooded Pokemon can deliver punches capable of obliterating a dump truck. This Pokemon's power level rises along with the temperature of its fire, which can reach 2,500 degrees Fahrenheit. Standard mode Galarian Darmanitan is 1.7 meters tall and also weighs 92.9 kilograms. Its Pokedex information says on days when blizzards blow through, it comes down to where people live. It stashes food in the snowball on its head, taking it home for later. Though it has a gentle disposition, it's also very strong. It will quickly freeze the snowball on its head before going in for a headbutt. In Zen mode, which as I said we'll get to a little bit later, regular Darmanitan is 1.3 meters tall and weighs 120 kilograms. Its Pokedex information says through meditation it calms its raging spirit and hones its psychic powers. When wounded, it stops moving. It goes as still as stone to meditate, sharpening its mind and spirit. Galarian Darmanitan in Zen mode is 1.7 meters tall and also weighs 120 kilograms. Its Pokedex entry says anger has reignited its atrophied flame set. The Pokemon spews fire everywhere as it rampages indiscriminately. Darmanitan takes this form when enraged. It won't stop spewing flames until its rage has settled, even if its body starts to melt. Appearance-wise, standard mode regular Darmanitan looks to be a cross between an ape and a Daruma doll, with thick red fur and large flames for eyebrows. And standard mode Galarian Darmanitan looks kind of the same, but with white fur and blue skin and a huge snowball atop its head. In their shiny forms, Darmanitan's red fur turns to a more purplish burgundy colour, whereas Galarian Darmanitan's blue parts turn to a bright green. In their Zen modes, regular Darmanitan looks even more like a Daruma doll, this time with mostly blue coloration, and Galarian Darmanitan turns into what is effectively a snowman with orange hands and a nose made of flames. In their shiny Zen mode forms, regular Darmanitan becomes a darker shade of blue, and Galarian Darmanitan's orange areas turn to a pinkish red, while its eye area turns to a more purplish pink, I guess. Now let's have a look at their typing, weaknesses, and resistances. In standard mode, regular Darmanitan is a pure fire type Pokemon. This makes it weak to ground, rock, and water type moves. It resists bug, steel, fire, grass, ice, and fairy type attacks and has no immunities. Galarian Darmanitan in standard mode is a pure ice type Pokemon, which makes it weak to fighting, rock, steel, and fire. And it only resists ice type attacks and it has no immunities. In Zen mode, regular Darmanitan becomes a dual type fire and psychic Pokemon. This makes it weak to ground, rock, ghost, water, and dark, and resistant to fighting, steel, fire, grass, psychic, ice, and fairy type moves. And again, it has no immunities. Galarian Darmanitan in Zen mode becomes a dual type ice and fire Pokemon. This makes it weak to fighting, ground, rock, and water type attacks, with the rock weakness being a 4 times weakness, and it makes it resistant to bug, grass, ice, and fairy type attacks with no immunities. Now let's have a look at the stats and abilities of these Pokemon forms. Both forms of Darmanitan in their standard modes have the same base stats, boasting massive attack and great HP and speed, but with lackluster defense and special defense and garbage special attack. Regular Darmanitan's primary ability is Sheer Force, which powers up moves that have additional effects by 30%, but those additional effects are then removed. This is brilliant for giving Darmanitan extra firepower, allowing it to be an excellent physical destroyer. As for Galarian Darmanitan, in standard mode its primary ability is Guerrilla Tactics, which boosts the Pokemon's attack by 50% whilst restricting it to only being able to use one move. It's kind of like a Choice Band, but without having to equip the item. This can be paired up with an actual Choice Band to give Galarian Darmanitan a 125% boost in attack, or various other items to give devastating effects. They both share the same hidden ability, which is Zen Mode, which causes Darmanitan to transform into its corresponding Zen Mode form if its HP falls below 50% of maximum. It will change back to its standard mode if its HP is restored to above 50% though. It's also worth noting that since Generation 7, Zen Mode can now no longer be suppressed by things like Gastro Acid or removed with things like Worry Seed or Skill Swap. In Zen Mode, regular Darmanitan's attack and special attacks swap round, its speed drops, and both its defenses increase to base 105. As for Galarian Darmanitan, in Zen Mode, its already impressive attack increases to a whopping 160 base power, and its speed rockets up to base 135, whilst all its other stats remain unchanged, thus turning this beastly Pokemon into an even bigger powerhouse of a glass cannon. Now it's time for me to decide which of these two forms of Darmanitan I prefer, and I'm really leaning towards the Ice-type Galarian Darmanitan. Now, I'm not the biggest fan of Ice types because of their lack of resistances and whatnot, but I really like the way this Pokemon works. Like, it's already a powerhouse anyway, but with Guerrilla Tactics Darmanitan, you can absolutely dominate on a physical level because you're effectively choice banded, but more importantly, Zen Mode Darmanitan, instead of it randomly going, I'm a physical Pokemon, but now I'm a special Pokemon, like standard regular Darmanitan does, you've got a Pokemon whose physical attack increases when it goes into Zen Mode, and its speed increases when it goes into Zen Mode. So as soon as it's in danger, it beefs itself up to maximum levels, and that's just really cool to me, compared to regular Darmanitan, whose Zen Mode is a bit weird to use, and I think a lot of people tend to use Sheer Force regular Darmanitan more often than not, because the Zen Mode is just such a weird change. Like, the typing changes, and that's fine, but it's just the way it goes from being a physical attacker to a special attacker, and you kind of have to plan your strategy on taking enough damage to become a special. It's just stupid. I think it's stupid. Galarian Darmanitan just wins because it's kind of Darmanitan with Zen Mode done right, I guess. But of course, it's not just up to me to decide, it's up to you guys to decide which of these two is your favorite. But before you do, let's see these Pokemon in action on the battlefield. It's time for the Metronome Battle. Before we get into the battle, I'll point out these Pokemon have max IVs in all stats, 0 EVs in all stats, they're not holding any items, they've got neutral natures. As with what we normally do on Form Fight anyway, they've got the hidden abilities, so they've both got Zen Mode, so we'll see those in the battle as well. And in fact, their base stats are the same, but I guess the only advantage or disadvantage here comes from their typing and the base stats of their Zen Mode forms, I guess. Everything else is all up to the Metronome. Let's go. And here we go, it's Darmanitan versus Galarian Darmanitan. Who will reign victorious, and how will these two Pokemon Zen Modes come into play throughout this battle? We've got all that to find out in this lovely form fight. Fire versus ice, and then fire and psychic versus ice and fire. Lots of fire going on, and just a little bit of ice. We see Steel Wing coming out to start things off from the regular Unovan form, doing massive damage already to that regular Galarian Darmanitan, which means it's going to be in Zen Mode at the end of this turn. Shiny regular Darmanitan is going for Withdraw, so it's going to increase its defense by 1 stage. That'll give it just that little bit of extra protection, because of course Darmanitan isn't the most defensive Pokemon in the world. Here's the shiny Galarian going for Block, which is, I believe, going to stop shiny Darmanitan from escaping. Yep, waste of a turn right there. And now it's over to regular Galarian Darmanitan. Last thing it's going to do in its regular form, going to go for Torment, which means that Metronome can't be used 2 times in a row by the regular Unovan Darmanitan. There's the Zen Mode from the Galar form, so it's now an Ice and Fire type and has increased speed and attack. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Let's see what happens in the next turn. This could be very short with the defenses of these Darmanitan. Here's the Zen Mode Galarian going for Freeze Dry on the shiny regular Darmanitan there. Just a little bit of damage there. Not very effective, obviously, fire resisting ice. Ovs, mate. Here's shiny Galarian Darmanitan going for Ancient Power. That will be super effective. That's a rock type move right there. Beautiful. Does a decent chunk of damage there, but not a great deal. Not as much as you'd expect on that regular Unovan Darmanitan. Does a little bit of struggle damage. Does 25% of its max HP and recoil damage. It'll be able to use Metronome on the next turn, but then not the turn after that, and so on. Another Freeze Dry. This is coming from shiny Unovan Darmanitan onto the shiny the regular Galarian Darmanitan, I should say, that's in Zen Mode. This is so confusing. It's regular Galarian Darmanitan in Zen Mode. My word. Over to regular Galarian Darmanitan in Zen Mode, who is going to go for Whirlpool. So that's going to do some decent water type damage from the get-go. A little bit of damage there. Brings Unova down into into Zen mode territory, but also it's going to damage that Darmanitan at the end of every turn as well with continued damage. Here's a power gem that's 4 times effective on the Zen mode, and it is on the Zen mode. So Zen mode Galarian Darmanitan is down. It is gone. It's only shiny Galarian Darmanitan that is left right now. That was an amazing choice of move right there. Of course, that 4 times weakness being utilized. Here's a Volt Switch from the regular Unovan Darmanitan. Little tiny bit of chip damage there. Of course, special attack on a regular Darmanitan in standard mode is not that great. Here's Retaliate, though, from that Galarian Darmanitan. That's going to do a decent chunk of damage, you'd imagine. It does huge damage there to that regular Unovan Darmanitan, who is going to switch to Zen mode at the end of the turn. There it is, into the Fire and Psychic Zen mode. So we've got 2 standard mode Darmanitan and 1 Zen mode right now. What's going to happen next? The shiny Unovan Darmanitan is gearing up, getting ready, going to go for Electro Ball onto the... Well, they got the same speed, so Electro Ball isn't going to do a great deal, but it goes on tiny bit of damage there. Embarrassing amount of damage to the shiny Galarian Darmanitan, who's going to go for Fairy Wind, which will be resisted by the Fire type shiny Unovan Darmanitan. Man, there's so many just words that we have to use for these forms. There's Struggle, though, which does knock out the Unovan Darmanitan with its own recoil damage and brings that shiny Galarian Darmanitan into Zen mode. So we've got 1 Zen mode versus 1 standard mode. But of course, watch out for the speed and the attack stat of that Zen mode Galarian Darmanitan. It looks ridiculous, but what a bruiser it can be. And here it goes with Happy Hour. It doesn't even use a move. What on earth? Doesn't even use a move. It's just caught up in the happy atmosphere. You know what? Christmas is over. We're about to hit New Year. Why not? So here comes Sleep Powder, which is going to put that Darmanitan to the Zen mode Darmanitan to sleep right there. I love that the bouncing animation slows down. That's great. I love that. Just slow it right down. Now, what's going to happen next? The shiny Galar is absolutely fast asleep, so it's over to the shiny Unovan Darmanitan. Still in standard mode. What's it going to do? Going to go for Circle Throw. That is super effective. Is that going to be enough, though, to take half? It is, and down goes the shiny Galarian, and the Unova team have won it. They've absolutely trounced the competition. What great plays there. Didn't even change into Zen mode, did you, boy? Well done. Well done. Girl, I should say. You're a girl. Well done. So you've heard what I've got to say, you've seen these Pokemon on the battlefield, now it's time for you to make your decision. Which of the 2 forms of Darmanitan do you prefer? Is it Unovan Darmanitan, or is it Galarian Darmanitan? Let me know in the comments and explain to everybody why your pick is the absolute best. And that's where I'll leave this episode of Form Fight. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, hit the like button. If you're new, hit the subscribe button. If you'd like to support the channel like these lovely people down here do, you can pledge to my Patreon. It's patreon.com/Ace Trinilium. And of course, use code ACE to get yourself some money off G Fuel. But until next time, I'm Ace Trinilium. Keep on training.